Welcome to Onshape for Makers, where we are creating models to go to the shop. This is a fairly simple part. We're going to look at the blueprint from the Too Tall Toby website. We're going to create the model very quickly, and then we are going to create the start of a print. Pardon my voice, I have a cold and I also have some dental work going on. It's affecting everything. So bear with me, we're going to work our way through it if you've got the patience to stick around. Okay, this is the Too Tall Toby website. There's also a Too Tall Toby YouTube channel. The website has almost 300 practice models, so if you're interested, take a look. They are great stuff, and everyone comes with a check mass value so you can verify that you got the part right. This is one of them. If you'll notice it. It's a little bit difficult to read because it came out of a contest, and so it's designed to be difficult to read. But what we're looking at really is this shape up at the top. We have a rectangle, and we have a rectangle through the middle, and that's everything but the slots. So let's go over and start the sketch, and the sketch will look like this. One rectangle here, one rectangle here, one rectangle in the middle, and then we will do a revolve, and we will revolve this section, and it will come out looking like this. From that, we will sketch the holes on the top as a pattern and do an extrude to make the holes. Then we will back up and we will make one of these and a single hole, and then we will do a pattern of the extruded holes and talk about the difference between the two. Little disclosure, the part's the same, it's just a matter of which way you do it. We will do the 2mm chamfer on all of the surfaces with a single feature and 2 mouse clicks. And we will be through with that. Then we will come over and start a drawing and do a couple of views and a projected view over here, and then we'll do a section at an angle. We will do a section through this web here, do a few dimensions, and end up with something that looks like this. It won't take long. We'll hit all the basics, and I will try not to skip anything important. Here we go. Oh, by the way, we're doing this in Onshape. If you have something else, everything except the drawing part will follow right along. It's pretty much standard on all of the CAD systems. Okay, starting in a brand new part studio, we're going to go to the hamburger menu in the corner under workspace units. We're going to be in millimeters. We're going to be in gram. And we're going to do a green check mark and start. And to get started, we're going to draw a rectangle for this, a rectangle for that, and then we'll draw a rectangle in the middle for the bore. So let's start on front plane's fine. Do a sketch, do a N for normal. Center point rectangle is up here. We will draw one just touching it. It doesn't have to be any particular size. The width of that is 66, and the thickness of it is 26 minus 18. And then we have one more center point, and we're going to touch this and follow it out, and that constrains the two of them together. And the diameter for that is 160, and the thickness is 18, and that's 2 out of 3. Now we're going to do a one more center point rectangle, and we're going to touch this line, and the diameter on that is 56. We're going to do an escape, and then we're going to zoom in, do an eye, or you can pick coincident up here. Take the corner and take the edge and put them together. And we need to draw a line through the middle and escape, and that's everything for this sketch. So we will close out with a green check mark and go to revolve, pick that little rectangle, axis of rotation is a center line and a green check mark, and we have the start of the part. On the part we have a 5 millimeter, as you see in purple, fillet in here. So we will go up to the fillet tool, take 5 millimeters, check mark, enter, finished. Now let's go to the top, do an N for normal, start a sketch, do an F for reframe it to where we can all fit the thing into it, and we're ready to draw. We have these 4 slots to do, and the only information we've got is they're 13 millimeters from the center out and from the outside in, and they're 13 millimeters at the nearest point between them, and that is how they were dimensioned in the print. So the easy way to do it is to start with we can start with an offset, which is here in the toolbar. Click the outside, pull the arrow to the inside, type in 13, and then we will do the same thing on the center, enter, 13, and that gives us the width. We're missing some information, and we know it's 13 between these two, so what we're going to do is one more center point rectangle of some arbitrary length. It doesn't matter as long as it's at least that long, and it wants to be 13 wide, and I'm just going to put 88 in so it doesn't give me a blue line out there. It doesn't really matter. And we need a construction line, so we will do line, we will do construction, which is a Q, and we will select the center point and pull it out to the periphery and dimension that with D as in dimension at 45. We will use that for a mirror. Now what we need is this circle. We don't know the diameter without calculating it, so we will simply make a circle, do an escape. We will go up here to tangent. We will select tangent first. If you select tangent first, then you can do tangent, tangent, tangent without ever coming back up. If you select the lines first and then do tangent, it's a one-time thing. By selecting tangent first, it's modal. So we can go this way and that way, and then this way, and then this way, and that fits it. And then we'll do an escape and do an M for remove. I'm not sure how M goes to remove, but M is remove. And we have half of our hole. We need the other half over here, and to get it, we can come to the mirror. We can select that construction line and then select the arc and hit escape, and we have our first slot. And we're guaranteed that this touch point and that touch point will be 13. Now we have a choice to make. We can extrude this, and then we can mirror, do a circular pattern on this hole. Well, I'll show you. That would be the easy way. Do a sketch, go to extrude, select that, select remove, and there's our hole. But we need 4, so we would come to circular pattern, and we would want to pattern a feature. You can pattern things over here, or you can pattern things over here. We're going to the extrude, and we're going to pattern it 4 times to make the hole. That would be one way of doing it. Now let me delete that and come back to the sketch. And the other way to do it is come back to N for normal, is I can pattern that by going up to the pattern in the sketch tool, which is different than the pattern outside the sketch tool. So I can say circular pattern, and I can select these 2 ends, and you'll see them, and there's 3 of them. But right down here, there's a little thing that says 3x, and I can change it to 4x. And that gives me 4 patterns. I will hit the Enter key, left mouse click, and I have, you'll notice blue. That means something is not defined, and what's not defined is the center of the pattern. You can see it moving around down here. So I'm going to pull it out a little bit, and then I'm going to come up here to coincident. I'm going to select the center of the pattern and the center of the part. Well, maybe I will. Oh, I guess I selected one too many things. Center of the part, center of the pattern, and it pulls it in, and now it's fully defined because everything is white. Then I can do check mark, and when I do the extrude, I can simply do the extrude for all 4, and it's the same answer whether you want to do a pattern and extrude all 4 holes, or whether you want to do 1 hole and then pattern the holes. In this particular case, it comes out the same. The only thing we lack is a 2mm chamfer around all of these holes, around the edge of the part, and here. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to say chamfer equal distance 2mm, and just simply select the face, and it will chamfer everything on the face. And then I'm going to turn it over and chamfer the entire face there. And the only thing we are missing is we are missing this inside chamfer right here, and I'm going to select it and green check mark, and we have a complete finished part. A Shift P will get rid of all of the sketches or hide all of the sketches, all of the planes, and clean up the whole thing. And this is the entire part. If you want to check your part, you can go to Mass Properties and check it, and this is the volume 958, 547.3 is what I've got, and yours should be similar to it. Now we can do a drawing. To do a drawing, there's several ways to start a drawing, like everything else. The easiest way is to come down where it says Part 1, right-click, and simply say Create Drawing of Part 1. And it will bring this up, and we're going to use an ANSI B millimeters. And we're going to select it, and we're going to select 4 views. No, we're going to select no views. And we're going to say OK. And it's going to come up, and it's going to automatically be ready to start. So we will drop this. We will come down and click that, and then we will say Escape. And that is the start of our drawing. From there we need sections and all, but let's start with the easy stuff. Let's put a dimension. We'll do a D for dimension, or here's the dimension. And we will select both edges, pull it down, and you'll get a 160. You can zoom in and catch the corners. The corners will get you a 66. And you can catch this radius right here and pull it out, and that will give you a 5. Now the way they dimensioned it for the model, and I will show you since we're going to try to replicate this, is they did it this way, which is a little strange, but it serves the purpose for the contest because it makes it more difficult. But we will simply do it. Now you'll notice as you move around, things move around, and once you click, you can hit escape, and then you can go back and you can move them around again if you want to. But that is, and by the way, if you want to turn this to that side, you simply click the diamond and it will move the dimension leader to the left. We can select the two faces here, come up, and that gives us 18. Pull it up so it's not in line with the 26. And that's pretty much that drawing. There's not a lot on here I want to do at the moment. What I want to do next is I want to create this section. To create this section, we have to create it at an angle. It's not difficult to create it at an angle, it's just not something you do often. We come up here where it says section view, we select angle, and then we come down to this box that says cut angle and put 45 in it. And you'll see 45 is going opposite the direction you want, so I'm going to reverse the direction and click there and pull straight out this way, and that will give me a section. Now the problem I've got is if I move it, it will move the parts because there's a constraint to coordinate this view with that view, and I need to break that constraint. To do that, double click the view, a box will pop up over here, and one of the options is a little checkbox that says suppress alignment with parent, a green check mark, and now we have broken the bond between these two. We need to still rotate this 45 degrees, so I'm going to double click it again. I'm going to say rotational angle of 45. I'm going to green check mark, and we're ready to go. By the way, if you want something a little bigger to work on, you can double click that. And this parent view is 1 to 2, but I can come down to 1 to 1, green check mark, and have a larger 1 to 1 view because we have a bunch to do here. We're going to start off by dimensioning the webs. We'll dimension that web with just dimension and select just like we have been. We're going to pick this and that and pull it up, and you'll notice when you get in line you'll have a little red dotted line that appears, and that'll line those two up. If you want them lined up, you probably don't, but if you did, you could. The other dimension we need is this bore diameter, and we can do that, and that will get us everything we need. If you want to dimension these, even though it's a round part and you don't need to, you can. And you'll see where it puts it in line with the other. Now this would be a reference dimension rather than an actual dimension, so you would click the blue box and you'll get these parentheses here, and right click, and that will make it a reference dimension. We'll go one more and do that and come up and pick this up and come across, select the box, parentheses, click, and there's another reference dimension, and we're good to go. The chamfer is a 45 everywhere. The way you do a chamfer, well, let's do it down here. It's a nice clean corner. We'll come to the pull down, select chamfer dimension, start with the chamfer, and then pick an adjacent edge and pull this out. And then click the blue box and drag it over. And I'm going to say space TYP to Y. That would be a Y. And click with the mouse, and that one is finished. I think that's really all needs to be done in this one. Ideally, if I were doing it and not Toby, I would have made that a reference dimension, and I would have made this the actual dimension because it's much more descriptive. But for the purpose of a speed modeling contest, sometimes it's a lot of fun to mess things up a lot just to make life difficult for the modelers. That should be 66, and that should be a diameter, even though it didn't come up as a diameter, so you can come down here and select diameter and force it. Okay, the one thing we're missing is we are missing this little piece right here. To do that, we're going to do a partial dimension. I'm going to zoom way in. I'm going to pick section view, horizontal section. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to pick that cross right there, zoom out, come up and click. And then I'm going to escape, double click. I'm going to select suppress, check mark, and drag this over here somewhere. Now what I need to do is I need to shorten this up, and I need to shorten that up, and that makes us a nice short narrow section, and all we need is one dimension from here to here, and that is 13. I will click that, type in here minimum web typical, and I will move that out of the way. That should be a B, not a D. I guess I can't spell web. W-E-B, web, typical. Okay, so that gets us started on that. There's not a whole lot to do. We can do a P for project. We can left click that, pull out here, get a nice projected view somewhere, click it, and then pull it down. These will not be associated with this because they're not on a quadrant, they're at an angle, so you don't have to unlock them. You can right click on this, and under show hide you can show shaded view, and that's how you do it. If you adjust the color of your model, you can come over here to the model, and you can say edit appearance, and you can say make it that color, and then you can go to the feature, which is the chamfer. You can right click this feature, and you can color a feature by adjust appearance of a feature and pick yellow and say check mark. And now you have a real pretty little part. So you come back to your drawing, which is where we are, and this yellow thing says the drawing is out of sync with the model, so we resync the drawing to the model, and when we do, it will fix the color. And there we are. That's how you would start. There are many other things to do, lots of things you can do, but you can go to the question mark, select help, and go, or you can go to Learning Center, and Learning Center has a course on how to do drawings. When you come over here, probably self-paced learning courses, and there are hundreds of courses over here, but one of them is drawings, and it will teach you how to do the basics of all of the drawings. As far as I'm going for tonight, hope you guys had fun. There is a million other things we could talk about, but the best way to learn them is to go get some of Tony's practice models and just start playing with them. There is a Discord that linked to Tony's website, and there are a bunch of guys over there that offer all kinds of help and assistance, ask questions, long discussions about many interesting things on CAD, and lots of systems, not just Onshape, but SolidWorks, Fusion 360, Inventor, all of them. They discuss them over there. Ask questions, learn a lot. Have fun. Talk to you later.